Odd object lifting is not unusual in the world of strongman. The Atlas stones are a predominant and familiar event that showcase the athlete's agility, strength, power, and skill. This movement can be broken down into 4 distinct parts: the first pull, the lap and regrip, the second pull, and the load, also known as the finish. At the start of the event, the athlete stands straddling the stone with the athlete's center of mass just behind the stone's center of gravity. The athlete will squat down and place their arms on the stone such that a line from arm to arm passes through the center of the stone, creating the point of application where the force will be applied. Athletes will squeeze the stone as hard as possible to increase the amount of friction between the stone and the arms. The contact force of friction is a factor that separates a poor stone loader from a good stone loader. A good stone loader will have less significant abrasions to the insides of the forearm due to improved grip and knowledge of correct technique.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Pull, come on. Stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. Yeah, buddy. Over the top, get tall. Head up. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Here we are. Hold up, come on. Yeah. Climb it. Let's go. Push it up. That's not fun.
The movement begins with the first pull, a line of action created by a vertical pull where the center of gravity of both the stone and athlete stay over the athlete's feet. From the squatting start position, the athlete will raise their hips by extending the legs, very similar to a Romanian deadlift. In order to lift the stone from the ground, the hips must generate a muscle force to overcome Newton's first law of motion, where the force generated must be larger than the mass of the stone and the gravity acting upon it. As the stone is lifted, Newton's second law is put into motion. Momentum generated during the first pull will aid in the rest of the movement. Once the horizontal midline of the stone is above the knee, the athlete will quickly drop their hips and settle the stone into their lap. The athlete should be able to sit in this position because the center of gravity of the system will be over the feet. In this position, the athlete will re-grip, moving their hands from roughly horizontal to over the top of the stone. The re-grip changes the force in the point of application, allowing for a more secure grip and ease in movement. The second pull starts from the lap position, where the athlete explosively extends their hips, applying a force to the stone and pulling vertically with their arms. A friction force is generated when the stone is in contact with the body. This force is important and needs to be maintained in order to continue the lift. In this position, the muscle force generated by the hips and legs needs to overcome the inertia of the stone as described by Newton's first law of motion. The athlete leans slightly back so the stone is stable on the chest as the athlete finishes triple extension with the hips, knees, and ankles. The triple extension causes the object to accelerate in a straight line along the line of action of the force. The athlete continues to raise the stone in this position until it can be set on the edge of the loading platform. Once the stone is in contact with the loading platform and the athlete's chest, the athlete is able to release the stone and move their hands into a pushing position. The athlete finishes the load by pushing the stone onto the loading platform until the center of gravity of the stone is over the lip of the loading platform, finishing the movement. This last push is considered an inertial force because the momentum and the muscle action from the second pull is carried over into the loading phase.